Hey everyone! Today we're diving into the mind-blowing world of the craziest war tactics ever used. From flaming pigs to phantom armies, these strategies are so wild you'll be left wondering if they're even real. If you're fascinated by the extremes people have gone to in the name of victory, smash that like button and subscribe for more insane stories from history. Now I've got two questions for you. Which of these tactics do you think is the most unbelievable? And if you had to choose one, would you use any of them yourself? Let me know in the comments below. In the early days of warfare, animals played a much bigger role than you'd expect. Take, for example, the ancient Romans. They once faced a terrifying enemy, war elephants. These enormous beasts were unstoppable and could trample armies with ease. The Romans needed a quick solution, and what they came up with? Flaming pigs. That's right. They'd douse pigs in flammable liquids, set them on fire and send them running towards the elephants. The sight and smell of the burning pigs would terrify the elephants, causing them to stampede and crush their own soldiers in panic. While it sounds bizarre, it worked. The elephants went wild, and the Romans saved the day. This tactic may be horrifying, but it proves that creativity in battle can sometimes outshine sheer force. Next up, we're diving into one of the most famous trick plays in history, the Trojan Horse. During the Trojan War, after years of failed sieges, the Greeks resorted to trickery. They built a massive wooden horse, hid soldiers inside, and left it as a gift for the Trojans, who believed the Greeks had surrendered. When the Trojans brought the horse inside the city walls, they had no idea that a group of elite soldiers were waiting inside. Under the cover of night, the Greek soldiers emerged, opened the city gates, and allowed their comrades to rush in, ultimately leading to Troy's downfall. The Trojan horse has become legendary as a symbol of deception, and even today we use the term Trojan horse for sneaky methods used to infiltrate enemy defenses. Let's fast forward to World War II for this next one. The British wanted to mislead the Nazis about their invasion plans, so they devised an elaborate ruse. They took a homeless man's body, dressed him up as a British officer, and attached fake top-secret documents outlining a false invasion plan. They then let the body wash ashore in Spain, knowing it would likely end up in Nazi hands. And it worked. Hitler was convinced the Allies would invade Greece instead of Sicily, which helped the real invasion succeed with less resistance. Operation Mincemeat might sound like a plot from a spy novel, but it's a true story, and one of the most daring uses of deception in wartime history. Speaking of World War II, here's another wild trick the British used. When German bombers were targeting British cities, they came up with an unconventional tactic to divert them. They called it the herring tactic. The British Royal Air Force would use fish oil and herring waste to create fake ship trails on the water, hoping the Germans would mistake these for actual convoy paths. By following the trails, the Germans would bomb empty waters instead of hitting actual targets, saving countless lives and resources. This is a perfect example of how sometimes winning a battle means outsmarting the enemy without ever firing a single shot. Animals come into play again with the Persian Empire's ingenious use of cats and birds. When the Egyptians rebelled, the Persians used their love for cats against them. Knowing Egyptians revered cats, they painted images of cats on their shields and even released cats onto the battlefield. Egyptians feared harming the animals, leading to a quick Persian victory. By turning a cultural weakness into a military advantage, the Persians demonstrated that in war, psychology can sometimes be just as powerful as physical strength. Imagine an army made entirely of inflatable tanks, trucks, and artillery. Sounds like something out of a cartoon, right? But this was real. The Allied forces created an entire ghost army with inflatable equipment to deceive the Nazis about their troop locations. From a distance, these props looked like actual military forces, keeping the Germans guessing and forcing them to divide their attention and resources. The ghost army didn't just use inflatables. They also played sound effects and used fake radio transmissions to make the ruse more convincing. This tactic not only misled the Nazis, but also saved countless lives by avoiding direct conflict in several areas. It's proof that in warfare, sometimes illusions can have real power. Yes, you heard that right. The Great Emu War. After World War I, Australian soldiers returned home to find their crops under attack, not from soldiers but from emus. In a bizarre twist, the Australian military declared war on these massive birds, using machine guns to try and reduce their population. But the emus proved incredibly resilient, dodging bullets and even disabling equipment. The war ended with the emus outsmarting the soldiers, leading to an embarrassing defeat for the Australian military. While it's a funny story now, it shows how even the most powerful tools can be useless if nature doesn't cooperate. The Persian Empire was known for its unique war machines, but one of their most terrifying innovations was the Syed Chariot. These chariots had sharp blades attached to the wheels, designed to slice through enemy lines as they charged forward. Imagine facing that on the battlefield. While the scythed chariots were effective in breaking up formations, they were difficult to control and could easily turn on the Persians if the horses were startled. It's a classic case of a weapon that was as dangerous to its users as it was to the enemy. You wouldn't think bees would be part of a war strategy, but for ancient Greek armies, they were a powerful weapon. In one battle, the Greeks threw beehives at their enemies, unleashing swarms of angry bees to disrupt their formation and cause chaos. The buzzing, stinging insects terrified soldiers and threw them off balance, giving the Greeks a chance to attack. It may sound ridiculous, but it worked. No one wants to fight while being swarmed by bees. This unconventional tactic shows that even the smallest creatures can make a big difference in war. Last but not least, we have Hannibal of Carthage, who was famous for his strategic brilliance. When faced with an enemy fleet, he came up with a terrifyingly effective tactic. Hannibal ordered his men to fill clay pots with venomous snakes and then throw them onto enemy ships. When the pots broke, the snakes would scatter, creating utter chaos and terror among the soldiers. This tactic was so effective that it caused the enemy fleet to panic and retreat, allowing Hannibal's forces to win the battle with minimal losses. It's a powerful reminder that creativity in war can sometimes achieve what brute force cannot. And there you have it. From flaming pigs to inflatable tanks, history is filled with insane war tactics that push the boundaries of imagination. If you enjoyed this list, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the wild side of history. Remember to drop a comment below. Which of these tactics would you consider the craziest? And if you had the choice, would you use any of them? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.